Hello, everybody. Frankie Ray here, country music singer-songwriter based out of Nashville, Tennessee. I come on here today with some incredible news in my pocket, but I would also like to start off by saying thank you to everyone, the fans, the friends, and my family. You guys have made this year an incredible one, and I couldn't ask for anything better. Between the bars in Jersey, the parties, and all the bars in Nashville that we are conquering. Thank you so much. Everyone who has seen us on Broadway, for that little time that you got to see us, you felt the need to come up and say, we love you. Thank you for what you have done. You've questioned where we're going to be next. You've also questioned if we're ever going to come out to Texas and Oklahoma. And we're going to England, you know. So I hope to make those days possible for you guys. But for right now, I get to sit in this little tiny phone screen and give you some of the best news of my life. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to announce to you that on November 15th at 12 a.m., the Funny Feelings EP will be released. This EP will consist of 5 songs titled Funny Feelings, Hello Catherine, My Heart, Cried at Dawn, and Lady in White. These songs are a collective of inspirations that I have found throughout my years of life, and I'm so happy to be able to finally share these with you. I'd like to thank everyone that's been a part of this project, and I can't wait to share this project with you for the years to come. Now, if you thought that was the only surprise I had for you, then you really don't know Frankie Ray. November 16th, 7:30, 8 p.m., around that time, we'll be kicking off the Frankie Ray Funny Feelings release party at the Why Not Saloon in Bellevue. It is going to be a fun, free night of good food, good drinks, and incredible music. I'll have some openers to be announced very soon, and we'll be partying ourselves with the Canyon Band on the Why Not stage for a few hours that night. My friends, family, and fans, thank you so much for your support. I love you. The Canyon Band loves you. And here's the funny things. Rock on, y'all.
Well, with that wonderful introduction, I want to thank my most ardent guest that's now coming on for, I think it's your 6th time, Frankie, and it's wonderful how you've evolved from our first one from back in last summer, I think, and to now. And now you're back in Nashville, and welcome back. And so much has happened since the last time we talked last July when you were back in Jersey.
Yeah.
And just give a little snippet of what's been happening, and for people who just don't even know, what you might be doing, that you are from South Jersey, singer-songwriter with a Southern, and just give a little bit of background for some new people. That's what I've been talking about. They're wondering, who's this kid? Who's this guy? Whatever. So just give us a little bit quick resume about everything. Frankie, welcome back. Thank you, buddy.
Yeah. My name's Frankie Ray, country music singer-songwriter. Thank you, Carl, for having me back. Appreciate it very much. I've been doing the performing thing for a little bit over 10 years of my life now, all different aspects. Musical theater was my main start. And then about halfway through that, I got more into the music feel of things. Moved out to Nashville right out of high school to pursue my college career. And I'm currently studying music business at Belmont University. And love every second of that. I'm a junior. Along with that, I get the opportunity to perform around the city of Nashville, especially down on Broadway, which is a big deal for me and for the guys that I get to do it with. I'm backed up by the Canyon Band, which is a band that I've created along with a collective of friends. And we get to do some pretty awesome things. I mean, our main spot has been Friends in Low Places down on Nashville, down on Broadway, sorry, with the main stage and the Oasis rooftop bar. Between the two, it's been awesome. We've gotten to meet some awesome people. And yeah, I mean, if you're listening from any of those shows, great to see you. Welcome to the podcast. But yeah, I'm Frankie Ray. Just rock it out.
Well, I could see you actually this little is from last night, and I can see you're tired.
Yes,
So
very, very tired. My talking is not as smooth as it
I
usually is.
know you're I can see it. I
But
could say
we're working through it, people. We're working through it. But yes, last night we had a awesome, awesome show, 12 to 11 p.m. I didn't get home till 12, and I wasn't really in bed till 1, and then had to be up early for class. But last night, you guys rocked the house. It was awesome, man. People were just, they were hungry for more, man, and they just didn't stop, nonstop the whole time. And we kept up with it. I don't know how we did it, but we did it, man. But but yeah, thank you guys for showing up and doing your thing, and see you guys again soon. We're back Sunday as usual, our 10 to 2 shift. We'll also be there Monday and Tuesday up on the rooftop, 7 to 10. So you guys can come check that out as well. But last night was killer, man. It was killer.
well, one great thing that the last two that we did, I'd always ask about original music, and
Mhm.
you were talking about actually writing it and then going into the studio and producing it.
Right.
So I think you're there that you've actually produced it and
It's happening. It's
and actually
happening.
seeing some pictures of you being into the studio,
Yep.
conducting everything and at the controls.
Yeah. Making things happen, man.
So what exactly is how many you have there? Now you say you having a release party and it's coming
Yes.
out in a couple days. So talk about that a
So
little bit.
yep. So the Frankie Ray Funny Feelings 5-song EP comes out on Friday, November 15th, this Friday, after this video is released. Um, it'll be released at 12 a.m. And that will be, I said it, we're banking on this. We're going to trust DistroKid, but we're banking on the fact that this will be released at 12 a.m. everywhere. So there won't be a difference whether it's Eastern Time, Central Time. At 12 a.m., you will get the album. Everyone will get it at the same time, and that will start, in my time. But it should release to 12 a.m. for everyone.
Now, for me, someone who grew up in the '60s, for me a release was going to a record store and buying a 45.
Yeah.
Now in 2024, where will it be released? Will people
So
be able to find this?
yeah. So the easiest way to find it, and the way that DistroKid's going to send it to you, which is the distribution company I'm using to distribute through. The way they will send it to you is you can find it on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, YouTube. It'll really release to YouTube. Uh, what am I missing here? And a dozen other different named places that you find your music.
Now, I'm familiar with YouTube. Now, would that be an audio form or video
Yeah,
form?
it'll be basically how it'll post, and hopefully it'll post on my account. The way it will post is it'll come up. You'll see the album cover, and then the audio will be behind it. So you'll be watching a video of my album cover just sitting there, and you'll hear the audio in good standing, along with YouTube Music. The way YouTube Music rolls is a little different, but that also plays like videos as audio. So um, yeah, YouTube Music will be the more streaming aspect of it, but it will be on YouTube just for listening purposes.
Now, is that the cover of
Yeah,
this?
that's the album cover. That's the release party cover. But behind it there, Frankie Ray, Funny Feelings. That's the release. That's the album cover. But this right here is the release party album cover to kind of promote the release party, which comes on November 16th, and that'll be 7 to 10 p.m. Free admission. Food and drink will be available for purchase. We're looking at getting a cake to give out to everybody because that'll be fun. Everyone loves cake. I just have finally, you'll be the first place that I get to announce my openers. Right now, we are going to have 7 to 8. You'll have Daniel Durden, which is a great friend of mine, incredible acoustic player. Following him will be the incredible Izzy Rose, who does have a co-write on one of the songs in the EP. So it'll be great having her there with us. And then following her will be Frankie Ray and the Canyon Band to end off the show for about a 45-minute set. We're going to play the 5 songs, and we're also going to try to fit in some covers as well, just to party and have a good time. But the release party is going to be a good time. Great place. It's about 20 minutes from Center City, so it's a great time.
Just let you know, you're breaking up just a little bit. Your
Yeah.
audio is okay, but your vision. But I think hopefully
I don't know what's going on. It never did this before.
the
But
software.
I'm watching my bars go up and down. I'm assuming that's probably the issue.
Yeah.
But hey, as long as the audio's there, you don't gotta look at my.
I know. The good thing is now hearing when people are in the studio and produce anything original, they take a lot of time. Now, last time we talked, it was in July, and I know you were just starting to record. And we're only 4 or 5 months later. You're already finished and ready for it. So you did a heck of a lot of work.
Well, so we started recording January, February, March, April. Around March of April or April. We recorded all the basic tracking. The only thing that needed to be added was some minor details, eventually some different like backup vocals and additional edits needed to be done. When we hit the summer, Neil Mehta, who's the gentleman right there, along with myself, we both got really busy in the summer. He uses the summer to take kind of vacations and stuff. So we were kind of balancing around each other's schedule, trying to find time to meet over Zoom and just talk about things that needed to be edited, things that had to be done. Thankfully, we had enough time in all that crazy schedule to finish everything. And so when we got back to Nashville together in September, we hit off right away where we were able to get in the studio, record the last minute backing vocals, which were kind of the last thing that needed to be done. And then it went straight to just kind of final mixing, and then it went to mastering, which Mark Robinson.
Now, who is he to you in this picture? I know you mentioned his
name.
name.
That's Neil Mehta, yeah. So he's the engineer. He's also a great friend of mine. And it just so happened that the girl who was taking pictures caught me thanking him when he was leaving the session. He had to leave for some time. So she caught me shaking his hand, thanking him at the end of the session. But yeah, so Neil's an incredible guy.
What does this setup?
I've gotten to know him over the past year or so now. And that's Garrett Olson. That's my bass player helping me set up wires. It's funny. The most simple, crazy, complex videos or pictures turn into some of the most important ones. I mean, this is just a part of history that will follow me, with me for the rest of my life. And having these pictures helps me remember so much about just sitting in that studio and working on the board and working with my friends, and the fact that, we didn't have people who come in and do it for us. We like to do it ourselves. You know what I mean? And, sometimes you call for help, but most of the time it is as simple as going out there and doing it ourselves and booking the time and knowing what we're doing. We just do it and we make it sound good. You know what I mean? But it went to Mark Robinson. Continuing that story, everything went to Mark Robinson, who's an incredible ex-professor of mine. I had him my freshman year. He's one of my first professors, and he then ended up retiring not too long after that class had ended. And like I said, he's an incredible man. The guy now, he gigs all over Nashville and does his thing and chills. And I see all his Facebook posts, but I kept in touch with him. And I knew that he had done mastering before, so I asked him if he'd be interested. And he was 100% interested. He had it done in a week. So once that was done, as soon as everything was ready, I made the album art. That is courtesy of Neil's girlfriend, Zoe. And the album art it blew up in our eyes, and we said it's time to get it on the distribution company, and we sent everything in. Everything got approved, and now it's time to release. And we're 3 days from it, and it comes quicker and quicker every day. And I'm very, very, very excited to finally have these songs out to you guys and share with you the music that's been stuck in my mind my entire life. And these songs are just the start. You know what I mean? We really like the process, and most people they try the process out and they get tired of it. But me, I'm just fiending for more. I want to keep recording. So we already
Well,
started recording some new stuff, and hopefully that'll be out as soon as possible. But this is the start for sure.
yes. Now it seems like you have an incredible band behind you. I
Oh
know
yeah,
we talked about maybe down the road to actually do a podcast with the rest of the
yeah,
band members on there, and I hopefully will be able to do that
yeah.
sometime soon. But I know these whoever your photographer was great getting these action shots because me as a
Sure.
photographer really appreciate it. So talk
Yeah.
about a little bit on who you have in the band for people who are not that familiar. Just tell us who you have in there.
Yeah. So before right as the year was starting for us, the season, I sat down with Billy and Garrett, Garrett Olson and Billy Bellino. Billy Bellino is the drummer back there, and Garrett Olson is the bass player. And I sat down with them and I said, "Hey, I think we need a band name. I need a name to call you guys. Just something a backing band. You know what I mean? And being someone who loves Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band." Springsteen, what happened with them was they originally were just all the E Street Band, and Springsteen basically got offered a solo career. And when he was making that contract, he said, "Well, I get to choose my own backing band." And he said, "All right." They said, "Okay, fine." And once they signed it, he called up the E Street Band. And he said, "Sorry, guys, we're going to be Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band, not just the E Street Band." And they were totally okay with that. So I being a fan of things like that, I asked the guys. I said, "Would you guys be okay with something like that? Just kind of right off the bat, just make it easy." And they were totally all right with that. They're a band that follows me everywhere I go, and they've worked so hard for all of everything that we've done. And so we did some thinking, and it took us about 3 or 4 days and a couple weeks on top of that to figure out a name. But Garrett, I think it was Garrett, who had jumped up and said, "What about the Canyon Band?" And I loved it. Billy loved it, and we bounced around with it for a little bit, and it worked out. Frankie Ray and the Canyon Band. So currently, the backing band's name is the Canyon Band. Colin, he didn't like it at first, but it grew on him. Colin's the guitar player, and Tessa Dalton, the fiddle player. But yeah, that's my backing band, man. It is a collective of musicians who they work their asses off, and there's no doubt about it, man. They're just good people, good times, and we're all friends. You know what I mean? And we all have a good time. We don't bicker. You know what I mean? We go up for each show and we smile and we have a good time. And one of my favorite things to do is turn around and mess with Billy, because he's right behind me on the drums. So I'll mess with Billy and I'll mess with Colin, mess with Garrett. We're all a little afraid of Tessa. She's mean. So we don't mess with her as much, but that's just a little inside joke. But we love Tessa, and I just love everybody in that band, man. And when you come out to the show, you see that love shot for sure.
I have to interject something personal that I haven't actually mentioned anywhere, because I don't know if you were aware that I did come back east in the middle of September with the boxing promoter. But then I met a fellow that I've known for a long time, Johnny Patillo, who was within the Danny and the Juniors and all that. But then he grew up in Asbury Park. We went around to where he grew up. And we went in front of the Stone Pony. Yeah, we talked about it because he performed there with other bands. But obviously, and I'm going to be meeting with him and talk, because he's now in Florida. We're going to be doing some other podcasts. But he was out front and talking. He said, Springsteen put the Stone Pony on the map.
Yep.
And I'm figuring now, you're at this place called the Why Not? What's the locations you're at right now in Nashville?
We're mainly at Friends in Low Places and the Why Not Saloon. Yeah.
So somebody 10, 20 years from now, probably when I'm gone, they're going to say, Frankie Ray's Canyon Band put this place on the map. Yep. I feel it, buddy. And I really do appreciate having this. But it's amazing when he said that. And I was figuring, I'm thinking back to you and thinking back to Nashville. I was like, damn. And how you're talking about Springsteen.
Yeah.
And that was all that part of that part of
Yeah.
New Jersey came out with all that music back in the mid to
Sure.
late 70s. Okay, you're a Jersey person, but you're now in Nashville with
Yeah.
that group, and I'm sure other people are starting to look and everything. So
Yeah.
I may think about possibly going there and seeing you guys if you have some big show. And all I
Yeah.
ask is a laminated pass that I could be there with a camera. That's all.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah,
some
you're
interviews,
good. You're good, man.
you
They
know.
they're pretty all right with cameras and everything running around, so you don't got to worry about that.
Oh, I
We'll see
know.
if we can get you up on stage and take action shots. That's
Oh,
the
that'll be
one
wonderful.
that I got to
That'll
work
be
on.
great. But I have to say that I've never said that to anybody. But then, next week when I finally do some podcast with John, I'm going to have that clip and I'm going to say, "Hey, look, John, you said this, but I feel this with you coming up."
Yeah.
Because hey, we're like in the twilight of our careers, but you're still there, just
Yeah.
getting started, which is wonderful. So
Yep.
yeah. So uh, I know this is a stupid question. I guess it's my age.
You're good.
They don't do CDs anymore. You're not going to come out with
So
anything.
so I trust. I love CDs too. I'm an avid collector of CDs. I don't know if you can see the bookshelf. My TV's in. Hold on, over here. My TV's in the way, but I have a whole bookshelf right there of all CDs that I've purchased just all over the years, and I'm very particular about when they came out and stuff like that. So I love CDs. So what I would like to do in time is make it kind of its own separate release to be able to sell the CDs with my merch. I'm still looking into how to. I basically burning CDs it costs nothing for me. That is easy as pie. I could burn my own CDs really quickly. The issue there is I want to make sure there's a nice cover art on it, on the CD, and also on the case. I don't want it to be cheap. So on that aspect, so I'm looking to find ways to make that happen for you guys.
I love your logo. On that bottom, pick the picture bottom right.
Yeah,
with
that far.
and with the logo. Yes, that's
Yeah,
beautiful.
yeah, it's fun. People on Broadway get confused by it. I have to add my name underneath of it or just change it up a little bit. But I made it myself. It's a quick and easy little logo, but it's followed me everywhere.
And I have to say, you're saying because most people say Broadway, they're still thinking in New York. Now you're talking about Broadway in Nashville, correct?
Yep. Yeah. Nashville's Broadway.
Yes.
Which is a little different from New York. A little different.
Yes, I'm sure.
A lot of country music.
Because you have to understand now, I'm here in California. People are all going to be looking at this all over the country in different places. And you have to actually specifically let them know, no, this is not Broadway, New York. This is Broadway, Nashville.
Broadway, Nashville.
Yes. So I know you're tired. I know you probably have things to do. I won't keep you that long.
This is keeping me up. You're good. You're
Well,
good. This is keeping me going throughout the day, Carl.
You have classes after this? Or you?
I've got class at 3:00 today. 3:00 is class. Try to get some lunch in and go do some work in between that time.
Well, good. Now I know it's been a couple months since the last you've been on. So, what's your schedule? I know we got 2 weeks till the holiday. We got Thanksgiving now. Are you going back to Jersey for Christmas, or what's your next?
Yeah, so I'm taking a week's hiatus to go home for Thanksgiving. I come back for about a week and a half for finals week and also a couple more shows. And then, out of respect for myself and for the band, we're giving them a good amount of time to go home and enjoy Christmas with their families and enjoy the new year with their families, and also about a week or so after that. But the end of January, about mid-January, is when we'll come back and we'll kick right off. There will be no hesitation. We don't really rehearse much anymore, so we kind of we'll probably do a rehearsal or two and then get right back into it just break off the rust. But so there will be a hiatus for Christmas. Christmas and New Year's are very special to me, especially being home with my family. So I like to respect the band, but also I like to respect the audience and the time that I think everyone should be home with their families.
And I miss your uncle's New Year's Eve with all the food and and the roast pork and the roast
pork.
Oh my God, that's all I had of my cousins when I came back last month. You got a place by him called Corolla's. I think I had a roast pork every other night. you know.
Yeah.
So yeah. Now, is there any major things scheduled for the band, or any like big venues or anything, or is everything pending?
Everything's pending right now. There's not much that I can upfront say. I can say there are things behind the scenes that are in the works. Um, but we look at every show that we do as a big show, and I think that's what makes them so fun for us. I mean, I try to keep the band in the mindset that every show is the first show. You know what I mean? Every show for that audience, that audience sees, even though yeah, we do a lot of the same music every time and sometimes in the same order. This Sunday is completely different crowd from last Sunday and the Sunday before. So every show that we do, I tell people all the time, they're like, "Oh, what show should we come out to? What show is going to be a fun one?" I tell them every show is a show. You know what I mean? You are going to see something different every time, and even though it is a lot of the same music, something new will happen. And I promise people that. So the biggest shows coming up this week, in this time that's already announced: Sunday, our 10 to 2 shift on Broadway at Friends and Low Places, Monday and Tuesday at Friends and Low Places. Another big show for us will be this release party. Like I said earlier, which is 7 to 10 p.m. You got Daniel Durden, Izzy Rose coming up there to open. And then you get to see Frankie Ray and the Canyon Band. We're even going to bring up a drummer who filled in for Billy during the recording process, Drew Halpin. Very excited to have him up there and hopefully play a song or two with us as well. But 11/16 is that date. Again, food and drink will be available for purchase, and it's free entry to get into the place. So, it's going to be a fun time.
Now, for people who are just not exactly sure, now is that in
Mm.
Nashville itself, or is that outside of
Yes.
Nashville?
Yeah, it's in Nashville. It's counted as Nashville, Tennessee. It's all kind of the same area, but they call it Bellevue. It is just the west point of Nashville. It is about a 20-minute drive from Center City, but it is a good little spot. It'll be quiet enough for us to have fun, do our thing, and just kind of collect, have a good time. So,
Out of respect to Jerry, would you call that your stone pony for Nashville?
yeah, I would definitely say it is one of my spots. I haven't hunkered down into one spot yet, but I would definitely say that it is one of my favorite spots to perform, mainly because it's just I like the local feel of it. I always have. The people there that work there are just incredible people. The owners are incredible people. They're just the locals that come out. Everyone is just so nice to us, and they love seeing what we do, and we love doing what we can, to make them happy. So, if we're able to bring a show that they enjoy out to them, that's all I can ask for. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, it's like I said, it's always a good time.
Well, we'll let you go on this. Let's just do a wrap up. That you have all original music, no CD yet, but everything's
No
streaming.
CD, but everything will be streaming on Friday.
What's the name of it again? And where
Funny
can they
Feelings EP. Funny Feelings. Yep. And it's the Funny Feelings EP, 5-song EP, consistent of songs with tons of different inspirations. You're going to see inspirations of Elvis, inspirations of Springsteen, even inspirations of Santana, Carlos Santana, a guitar solo that is highly inspired by Carlos Santana. Just tons of different inspirations all throughout the entire EP. And so I'm really, really, really excited for you guys to hear this. And just start the pre-release now. The pre-save on is in the bio of my Instagram and Facebook. You go to my link tree, basically anywhere you can find my link tree. You'll see a pre-save link for the EP. If you have Spotify, you can click pre-save and it will automatically pre-save. And that helps me out with getting onto playlists and such. So make sure you guys pre-save. That's a big, big deal. And you can also pre-save on Apple Music as well. If you try to just search up my name on any of these, it's not going to work just yet because there is no account made until the release happens. But once that's made, you guys should be able to search me up and I'll pop right up. And especially if there's more pre-saves, it'll.
I'm sure I'll be checking it out as quickly and I'll just have to go by the links that you provide for me to get on there just to listen to it too.
Thank
So, Frankie, I want to thank you for coming back on. I know you're tired. You got so
you.
much going on, but
Thank you.
very excited about how everything has progressed from the first one
Yeah.
we did almost 8 months ago to now. And then, so yeah, we're 2 weeks from Thanksgiving. Why don't we plan on right after the New Year? Because you'll be back. When will you be
Yeah.
back in Nashville after the holiday?
We're about mid-January, so we can start
Okay.
talking around beginning of January, right after the New Year, and we can converse and plan something for that right before I go back, or when I go back to Nashville. We can plan something.
And as a
Sure.
friend of mine from 20, 25 years ago would always say when the condition, Frankie, get some rest.
Yeah. Yes,
I
sir.
appreciate everything. Keep giving me some information about
Yeah.
the release. I'll be looking forward to listening to it,
Of course.
and say hello to your family when you go back for Thanksgiving. And I
Of course.
know talking to your uncle a little bit about, he was really humble for me to be having interest in this. But then down the
Yeah.
road, like I said, if there's anything I can help on down the road,
Yeah.
please let me know. Have a great
Yeah.
holiday. Keep the
Thank you,
good
buddy.
work.
You
I know
too.
everything's going to be great. And
Yeah.
then we'll be back again on Carl's Corner with Frankie probably right after the New
Yes, sir.
Year. We'll be talking soon. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you, my friend. All right, buddy.